Welcome to Shree Learning Academy. Today's focus is on distributed denial of service. For those interested in more personalized learning experience, we also offer private sessions. Connect with us on WhatsApp. Now let's dive in. Let's start with the term distributed denial of service or DDoS for short. Think of it this way. Imagine a small coffee shop in your neighborhood. It's got a cozy space, just a few tables, and can serve maybe 10 people at a time comfortably. Now imagine that all of a sudden 100 or even thousands of people rush into that coffee shop all at once. Not because they want coffee, but just to crowd the place and take up all the space. Some sit at the tables without ordering, some stand in line but never actually buy anything, and some just hang around and block the doorway. What happens? The real customer, the ones who genuinely want a cup of coffee, can't get in. The staff can't keep up, the systems get overwhelmed, and the businesses grinds to halt. That's basically what a DDoS attack is. But instead of people crowding a coffee shop, it's computer overwhelming a server, a website, or an online service. A denial of service is just what it sounds like, denying the service to its normal users. And when it's distributed, that means the attack isn't coming from just one source. It's coming from many different computers all over the world, often thousands or even millions of them. These attacking computers don't even have to be owned by the attacker. Many times the attacker has already taken control of innocent people's devices, computers, phones, smart TVs, or even printers without the owners knowing. These devices become part of what's called a botnet, kind of like an army of zombie devices controlled remotely. The attacker tells all of these zombies to send a flood of traffic to one target like a company's website. And just like the coffee shop that gets swamped with too many people, the website becomes unusable. Legitimate users can't log in, can't browse, and can't buy anything. That's the damage a DDoS attack can cause. Now let's talk about the words amplified and reflected, because these two are the techniques that make DDoS attacks even more powerful. We will take amplified first. Imagine someone shouting in a microphone that's connected to a huge speaker system. They whisper into the mic, but the sound blasts out at a stadium volume. That's amplification. In tech terms, it's when a small request sent to a vulnerable server gets turned into a huge response, one that's many times larger than the original request. Let's say you send a request that's only 1 kilobyte in size, but the server you're talking to responds with 50 kilobytes of data. That means for a very little effort on your end, you have forced that server to generate a much bigger chunk of traffic. Attackers abuse this by sending thousands of millions of these small requests to many different servers. Servers that will respond with amplified data, and they tell those servers to send their responses not back to them, but to the victim. That leads us straight into the idea of a reflected attack. A reflected DDoS attack is like prank calling a pizza place, giving them someone else's address and ordering 100 pizzas to be delivered there. You are not sending anything directly to the victim. Instead, you are tricking someone else into sending traffic to the victim on your behalf. That is why it's called reflected, because the traffic bounces off another system before hitting the real target. So in a reflected DDoS attack, the attacker sends requests to third-party servers like DNS servers, NTP servers, or others. These are often services that respond to queries from the internet. The attacker forges the return address on the request so that it looks like it's coming from the victim's IP address. When these servers receive the request, they don't realize it's a trick. They respond like normal, but they send their answers to the victim, not the attacker. And if the attacker chooses the right types of services, and responses can be quite large. This is where reflection and amplification combine. Let's put this into a real-world example. Imagine that there's a small online bookstore. It doesn't have a huge infrastructure, just a single web server that handles its website. An attacker wants to knock it off offline. And first, they set up a botnet of thousands of infected devices. Then they choose a list of public DNS servers that will respond to queries from anywhere on the internet. Instead of sending DNS queries directly to the bookstore server, the attacker sends thousands of false DNS requests to the public DNS servers, using the bookstore's IP address as a fake sender. Each request is small, but each response from the DNS server might be 10 to 100 times bigger. So for every 1 kilobyte of effort from the attacker, the victim receives 100 kilobytes of traffic. Multiply that by 1,000 or millions and you have got a huge flood of data hitting the bookstore server, slowing it down or taking it offline completely. That's a reflected amplified DDoS attack. This kind of attack is dangerous because it's efficient for the attacker. They use very little bandwidth but cause a lot of damage, and it also hides their real identity because the traffic seems to come from legitimate servers and not from the attacker themselves. Another popular type of amplification method uses NTP servers, which are used for time synchronization on networks. A small request can result in a massive response, making it a favorite among attackers for DDoS amplification. The same principle applies. Watch the victim's IP, send small requests, get huge responses, sent to the victim. And let's not forget about simple service discovery protocol, memcached servers, and even charge-in, which are all types of services that have been abused in DDoS attacks for their ability to generate large amount of traffic from small inputs. DDoS attacks don't just happen for fun. They are often used as smoke screens for other attacks, or to hurt competitors, or even to extort money from businesses by threatening them to shut down unless a ransom is paid. Mitigating these attacks usually involves multiple strategies. Organizations use DDoS protection services which sit in front of their networks and filter out malicious traffic. Firewalls and intrusion prevention systems help identify and block attack patterns. Rate limiting can help reduce the effect of amplification. And a key way to reduce the number of systems that can be used in these attacks is to configure public servers correctly so they don't respond to requests from just anyone. Also, anti-spoofing measures like ingress filtering can prevent attackers from sending packets with fake source addresses. This can cut down on reflection style attacks because if you can't spoof an IP address, you can't trick a server into sending data to someone else. So to wrap this all up, a distributed denial of service attack is like flooding a system with more traffic than it can handle. Using a massive number of computers, an amplified attack takes advantage of services that respond with way more data they can receive, turning a small input into a big impact. And a reflected attack uses third-party system to bounce this traffic to the victim, hiding the attacker's identity and increasing the scale of the attack. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you are looking for more personalized training, contact us on WhatsApp. We offer a range of theoretical and practical courses starting at just $99. You can also find a written explanation and a quiz on our website. Link in the description below. Don't forget to subscribe for more useful videos and feel free to ask any questions in the comments. We are here to help. See you in the next one.